Welcome to Whispers to My Future Self, where warmth meets wisdom. I'm your host, Courtney Raquel, extending a cozy invitation for you to grab your favorite brew, settle into a comfy spot, and embark on a journey to become the lead character of your story. Join me as we prioritize your happiness and embrace life on your terms without reservation. Hey guys, I hope you've had a good weekend. It's our second episode together. And I was sitting here the other day thinking how I can't believe it's already the end of February. So I decided my intention is going to be to continue getting better at slowing down. And of course, I'm always being told, wait till you get older, the time's only going to go faster. But I refuse to accept this. I believe that as I become more and more present in my life and I allow myself to enjoy all the small things and continue working on not rushing through the week, the time will be on my side. Have you ever heard the saying, what you focus on grows? I'm going to focus on being more mindful and present so that I can enjoy all the moments and not miss anything. For me, it felt like January came so quickly. I felt like we were just getting ready for the holidays, decorating, watching Christmas movies, baking cookies, shopping, wrapping gifts, and the next thing you know, Christmas has come and gone and it's New Year's. I remember my best friend texting me on New Year's Eve because we always talk about our resolutions and plans for the new year. And she asked me if I had my resolutions. And I didn't. I hadn't spent a minute on them because honestly, the end of the year it snuck up on me fast. And when she asked me, I started to think, crap, I need to spend some time today to figure out what I'm setting my resolutions for, my goals for, because tomorrow's the new year and I need to have them set and in place. And I thought, how did I miss planning this? And in reality, I missed it because I was enjoying life. I was having fun, getting ready for Christmas. And then my mom came down for a week and visited, which was amazing. And now here I am with no real thought on my resolutions, no set intentions or goals for the year. My friends started to say how if she doesn't have it planned, then she's not going to know what she wants to do. And if she doesn't know it on the first day of the new year, well, there goes her whole year. And of course she was kidding, but I do feel like for a lot of us, we do have this pressure to have the goals and resolutions ready to fire away the first of the year. It almost seems a little bit like a superstition, starting off on the right foot. I know I've felt that way before, and I started to feel my body stressing and my brain going into a bunch of different directions thinking, how can we figure out what we want for 2024? But then I started to think, it's okay. I don't need to stress on New Year's Eve that I don't have it all figured out. And I'm certainly going to spend time to set my goals and intentions for the year, but it doesn't have to be this second. The beginning of our year, I feel like, can be a time for rest and reflection. I mean, we're still in the thick of winter, and a lot of things don't come back to life until spring. So why do we need to rush into the new year? I started my 2024 a little differently. I was going to be kinder to myself, because how many of us are feeling burnt out after the holidays? I feel like as we enter November and go into Thanksgiving, it seems most of us are pretty busy up into the new year. How about you? Did you take any time to relax and recoup after the holidays? Or on New Year's Day, did you throw out the junk food, head to the gym and start your gym membership? I find we see the new year coming and we all start to think of our resolutions, which I think is great to start the new year with goals. However, I don't think we should force things either. We should do it when it feels right. I see time and time again, if I don't force something and I let it come naturally when it feels right, that it flows a lot better. But as the new year started, I decided I needed time for self-care and just to unwind. So I listened to my body, and if I'm being honest, my mind, of course, yelled at me over and over, no, we need to get things done. We need to be productive. And I really was excited to sit down and dream about my year and what I really wanted. And I was excited to set my intentions based off what I wanted. But as much as I wanted to get working on that, my body said no. And it's hard to ignore the constant push and the feelings that you need to be productive and to be doing what we think we need to do. But sometimes we just need to listen to our body. I know it may sound stressful, and I know that you might be thinking to yourself, but I can't. I really can't stop and slow down. I promise you though, you can. You can make time to slow down and give yourself a minute. I know y'all lead very different lives, and I can't begin to know what your life looks like, but I do know sometimes we all need rest. We can certainly be kinder and gentler with ourselves, and I know it's not an easy thing to just change that mindset. We all feel very stuck that we have things to get done and we can't stop until they are done. And if I'm being honest, during this time, I did push my boundaries and I'd get off work and I'd sit down and I'd think, well, maybe I can just work on my goals for a little bit. And I would try, but it wasn't flowing. And so at that point, I just accepted it wasn't the right time. Back in January, it's still chillier even down here. And all I wanted to do was when I got off work, I just went to curl up on the couch. My brain was exhausted and it just wanted to rest. So when I would get off work, I would just be thankful for the time I had to relax. And I accepted that this was what I needed right now. It was a little hard for me because it went against what I've felt for years, but I've learned when I feel this way, when I'm just not in the mood, I'm too exhausted for it, and it's not flowing, that I just need to do what feels right in the moment. So for me, that looked like getting out of the house and walking to the water or going for a drive and just listening to music. And honestly, a lot of my evenings were just curling up on the couch, enjoying my fireplace, having my candles lit, listening to my relaxing playlist and just enjoying my space. That was what I really needed after the holidays. The old me would have been so stressed about this. I used to try to relax and I'd honestly feel frustrated. I felt stir crazy and I wasn't able to just sit and relax. And if I did try and I pushed through that, afterwards I'd feel guilty. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that way. It's just almost like you shouldn't be relaxing. You should be getting things done. And my mind still fights me on that sometimes, but I remind myself that resting is important too. And I let myself be present in that moment. Because I believe, just like meditation, it takes practice to be able to relax for some people. So I took this time to rest and I thought about the past year we had. I think a lot of times we breeze over the year that we just have and move right into the next. But the last year is really important. You've grown, lessons were learned that will better you for years to come. And I think you should celebrate your accomplishments, acknowledge your challenges faced, and take a moment to reflect. This reflection sets the stage for your next beginning. It's truly sad to me just how fast-paced the society is, that we constantly are full steam ahead, never breaking to look at how far we've come and really immerse ourselves in that celebration. It's always what's our next goal, what's next for me to accomplish, which it's great to have that drive, and I'm right there with you, because I thrive off of having something to work towards. But there really should be a balance that you still want to acknowledge and celebrate what you've done, how far you've come, and all the amazing memories you've made so far. So I suggest take some time for that. At the start of this year, make sure to reflect on your last year. Set aside the time so it doesn't get by you. For me, when I did that, I recognized that 2023 was huge for me. I settled into my first home. This is the year that I started to really see the impact of all my mindset shifts and changes. I really had no idea how living for myself would dramatically change how my day-to-day life flowed. I've experienced so much peace in the past year by not forcing things and just doing things that felt right for me. I've seen the amount of my free time expand. Not only did I choose me, but the time just became available to put more focus on myself. And for me, 2023 was the first year in a long time that I can say that I feel like I'm on the path of least resistance. I can finally trust that things will just work out the way they should. Pre-2023, early 22, I didn't have that faith. For a while, it just really felt like anything that could go wrong did. I remember towards the end of 2022, having this specific conversation with my mom, telling her how I felt like I was a pretty positive person, yet a lot of times I kind of expected the worst out of things. I felt it only made more sense to me to feel that way because it did seem like there was kind of always something every turn you made. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way. And we consider ourselves positive, but that's really not an optimistic way to look at things. So I started to kind of reflect on that and think maybe I'm not as positive as I thought. I would find myself worrying how exactly things would get better, or could they get better? And sometimes I just didn't feel like I had a lot of control. It seemed like things were just continuing to happen to me. And I realized that is a terrible way to look at things. And so she had said to me that like attracts like. She said it's the law of attraction. And I can still picture this conversation and this exact moment and feeling. And I thought, okay, not only do I feel this way, like that things are constantly happening, but now I feel like you're saying it's kind of my fault. And I felt myself getting frustrated, but I kept it to myself because I thought this isn't at her. And her statement's true. And, my mom's always been my rock. She's the person that I go to for sensible advice, and she's always the kindest and she's gentle about her delivery, but she will tell me her honest opinion, which I love because that's how we grow. So I kept my reaction to myself because it definitely wasn't at her, and I sat on it for a while and I thought about it. Because I thought if I'm really causing these speed bumps in my life, I want to take control of that. I want to change that. I don't want to have these negative views. I started to think maybe I might not always be in control of external situations or how other people react, but I can control how I react and how I feel about them. And maybe in doing just that, maybe things can go smoother. I can have more control back in my life because I don't want to feel out of control. So I decided at that point to begin working on that mindset change. Not everything has to be difficult and a challenge, and maybe I can even start looking at situations differently. I'm not going to lie, that was something in the beginning that I really had to keep checking in with myself from time to time and remind myself that this is a mindset change. This is something you have to keep working on. But it also made a huge change in my life. Along with the other changes that I was making, I started to experience less and less issues, or at least that's how I felt. And the rest of 2023, I just really honed in on viewing situations with more kindness and going with the flow instead of pushing against it. So if something didn't go as planned, I wouldn't get upset. I would just trust that it was working out for the right reason, and I'd follow that new path. Before, I'd be very resistant to it. I would get stressed out or upset that it wasn't going as planned and start to view it as an issue. What I found was instead of focusing and seeing it as a negative, I would view it as something positive. I find the positive in it. And the majority of the time, the new turn of events would work out better than I could have imagined. And on the off chance that I couldn't find the positive, or I just really didn't feel good about the situation, then what I would do is I'd start to think about things that did make me grateful, all of the amazing things in my life, and that helped my mood. So sometimes, yes, we can't control the situations we're in or the people around us, and we shouldn't force things that we can't control, but we can control how we react. I can at least find a positive, happy vibration to stay in. And I promise you, after you practice this, it becomes second nature and it makes such a huge change in your life. It seems to me that so many times now, I watched all the grief and challenging events just fade away. They really aren't present in my life anymore. And if something doesn't go as planned, if there is something upsetting, I don't have that frustration like I used to. I think before my cup was very full, and so one more thing just really overfilled it, and I don't feel that way anymore. I sit back and I reflect on this and I think, what a great feeling. And now it really feels that my life is flowing. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. My energy and vibrations are so much higher. I'm happier and I'm at peace. Before 2023, most of 2022 and prior, I just felt like I was always fighting the current. I was trying to get where I thought I needed to be. But it's not like that anymore. This past year, 2023, it's really shown me that I'm on the right path. And now things flow and they're easy. It shouldn't have to be hard. And I believe slowing down and appreciating what you do have will only attract more of what you want. And now I wake up feeling grateful and excited for what's coming. It wasn't like that before. I used to wake up and my first thoughts were, I don't want to get up yet. I'm not ready. I don't want to go to work. And now I get up and it's a completely different feeling. Now it feels like I'm constantly being shown and handed more reasons to just feel good. Instead of stress and problems and issues, I have peace and more things to be happy about. So I want to ask you guys, what has this last year brought you? Think about the great memories you've had. Think about what areas you've grown in and have made your life better. And I think this will also help you to start forming your new intentions and goals for the year. Where did things lack last year? What do you want to learn more of? What do you want to improve on? So I say, take some time to think about that. Really reflect on last year, however you want to do that, whether it's through meditation or journaling or making a scrapbook, putting all of your memories in a book to refer back to. But spend some time on that. Really think about what worked and what didn't last year, because I truly believe that'll help you set the goals that you should be setting for this year. So in the spirit of starting off your year with self-reflecting, recharging, self-care, I would consider indulging in activities that bring peace and relaxation to you. Whether that looks like a quiet day with a good book, a walk in nature, or unplugging from technology, find something that nourishes your soul. Don't forget even the power of a good night's sleep. Allow yourself a full night's rest to wake up with renewed energy and clarity. You guys, this new year is a blank canvas, and it's ready for us to create a life that aligns with our aspirations. So make sure, prioritize yourself, spend that time on self-care, spend time reflecting, and then set those realistic goals and establish boundaries to protect your well-being. I really hope that you've enjoyed the episode. We are going to have a wonderful year, and it's going to be filled with the purest of life that resonates with your true self. Be excited for this. Embrace the opportunities for growth. Find those moments of joy and enjoy the journey. Don't just look at the destination. Look ahead and enjoy every moment. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great week. If this resonates with you, please definitely follow this podcast, share it with a friend, and I will talk to you guys next week.